Yo, what is going on, guys? Once had a fantastic day, so I'm going to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles, but not really news because really after the schedule release, it's going to be dead quiet for a while, unless there's going to be some moves going on, during this time until we get to training camp to see the competition, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be going over all of that, but a couple things I definitely want to go over right now, so let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? So we all know this roster has improved significantly. We all know that. And this is really just an insight of now the Eagles have 4 open roster spots, which is really interesting. Now, these roster spots could just be a fill out for getting your 90 players into camp. You know what I mean? So a lot of players will be in camp. A lot of, position, every player, a lot of players from every position will be at camp. They'll have a number of guys at each position. We all know that. But, I feel like there is more to do. I feel like Howie is not done. I feel like throughout the train, even if it happens before training camp or during training camp, if the Eagles see a position group and they're like, we need to do more with this position right now because we don't trust this guy or that guy. And one I actually say with 4 open roster spots, it can really go to anybody, but at the same time, you always have to kind of open yourself up a little bit to other options. Now, obviously, linebacker is probably the number one position I've been looking at for a while because behind Nakobe Dean and Nicholas Morrow, there's really nothing there. Okay, now Nicholas Morrow, I feel like he's a very good player. Okay, now I know he's a coverage guy. He can blitz. This is a low-risk, high-reward signing. Barely getting paid much of anything where it's going to affect the Eagles' cap at all. And this is like a big what-if, because I don't know if he's going to play well, but I feel like he's a very good signing. I feel like he will make some noise, and I feel like he could start. But, like I said, we have to get through training camp. We have to get through this whole entire off season with him to see if he's really going to fit next to, Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, I feel like he's going to play really well. That's my inside gut feeling. But like I said, I need to see these guys on the field. As much as that, he's played special teams last year. He was a sponge in the linebacker room with Nick Rallis and really sponging everything up. And from getting, those little opportunities that he did get in some games where we were up by multiple scores and he would go in there and make some plays. So I'm not going to say Nakobe Dean's not going to do anything, but I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say anything right now because inside myself, I think he's going to be a fantastic, great player, probably one of the best. But I have to pump the brakes because this depends on Sean Desai, and this depends on, Nakobe Dean, taking off pretty much a whole entire year from being a starter, really. He had too much competition in front of him, too many vets in front of him last year, so obviously had to take a back seat last year, which I wasn't really happy about. Not the whole year. I mean, at least I wanted to see Nakobe Dean get into some games last year, but it is what it is. Felt like he could have made a difference. And from the flashes we did see, there were some good signs to look at with him. But like I said, it's not enough. We have to be realistic with it at the end of the day. So really, behind your linebacker core, Kyron Johnson, 4.3 speed, defensive end from Kansas and not really doing too much and, is getting hurt already. Davion Taylor is a mess, has been hurt. And what I call is probably going to be a bust, to be honest with you, because really when, it was a few years ago we drafted him as a third-round pick from Colorado. If I'm not UCF, I think it was Colorado. Didn't really, I think had a really strong 2021 season with the Eagles. Lined up with TJ Edwards that year in 21. Davion Taylor was great. Then he had that knee injury by week 10 almost during the bye week, and he was out the rest of the year. And then he got hurt again last offseason. Patrick Johnson. You have Ellis that's there. That's mostly a special teamer. There's nothing at linebacker. I mean, if Nakobe Dean or Nicholas Morrow gets hurt, there's really nobody, okay? I feel like if they get one more piece, whether it's Patrick Queen, whether it's Isaiah Simmons, if they make a trade for Devin White, I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't even know who else is really available at this point. I think Patrick Queen could fit right in immediately. Isaiah Simmons is another one where they can actually move him around the field a little bit because I think he could play middle, outside. He could do a little bit more than just play linebacker. But, that's really up to the Eagles what they want to do here. You know what I mean? Because depth-wise, I think linebacker is really the only spot we just don't have it. Okay, defensive line, I think we're good. Safety, I think we have a lot of bodies. Cornerback, we have a lot of bodies right now. Even if they add another cornerback or another safety, I don't even care. At least another cornerback, I wouldn't even care. The undrafted free agents are coming in, so there's a lot to really look at here and say, I think if you add like one more, I say a pretty good, if they make a trade for a linebacker by training camp or during that time, I think the defense is really set. Let the competition kind of unfold after that. You know what I mean? So I think, defensively when going into camp, I think I would just add one more body at linebacker. That's where I'm kind of really comfortable going forward with it. Even with the Philadelphia Eagles in general, I think they need more offensive linemen. I think, even drafting tylersteen, tylersteen is going to be, I think a starting right guard, and you have Cam Jurgens there. Are they going to redshirt him? Are they going to keep him as a backup center? If he's not even in competition for right guard, we don't even know yet. Once we see the lineups of where they're lining him up at practice, obviously, it should be really interesting. Not even that, but getting Trevor Reed from Louisville as an undrafted free agent. I mean, just 12 appearances, 11 starts. I mean, literally 314 pass block snaps and only gave up 3 sacks with 2 QB hits. So, Trevor Reed's another guy at 6'5", 307 they have on the offensive line. I think is going to make the team because really, besides Driscoll and Jurgens, there's no depth, and you don't have a backup left tackle right now. Obviously you have, Steen that could play multiple positions, left tackle, right tackle, and has the physicality to play right guard. So, and I think future-wise, I think Tyler Steen will move to right tackle once Lane Johnson is gone. I think he will be the future right tackle for this team, which is interesting. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. See, obviously a couple offensive linemen or one more premier offensive lineman they could get. I don't think there's really much in free agency for maybe some guy that gets cut or something like that. That you're really, Jeff Stoughton could kind of get his hands on and mold them into something. So, offensive line wise, you could never have enough offensive linemen, especially ones that could cross train, ones that, the more on the offensive line, the more positions you could play at a high level, obviously, not just the more but if you could play multiple positions and play them well on the offensive line, you got a lot of worth going into a roster and being very valuable for the Eagles. So they're going to be cross-training a couple guys. So right guard should be interesting, but they need to add more than Tyler Steen and obviously Trevor Reed that I think from Louisville that will make the team as well going forward, which I think is pretty cool. And then I think lastly, to really go over everything, I think like cornerback would be one that I wouldn't, I think they added a good amount of bodies to the undrafted free agent list, even with, Mekhi Gardner, even Eli Ricks is going to get a lot of attention because, had a really good year last year, but, didn't give up a touchdown for Alabama last year. But, obviously, has dealt with injuries, a lot of injuries the past couple seasons. And, that's something you have to look out for. It's why he dropped so much. He's an LSU to Alabama transfer and has played at a high level before. And I think a lot of, even I think a lot of fans are really excited about him and what he's going to look like against McPherson and Mara Goodrich, and see if he could, some of these new guys, these new undrafted guys, are going to beat some of these other guys out of their spots. And that's what I really want to see. The depth at corner, I think, is really important too, because we don't want to get into a situation where your corner goes down and then you have to, put an awful player in there and hope that the defense around him will make him look good. Josiah Scott and putting him in, and I don't want to go through that, situation ever again at that position. So, there's a lot with this roster. If it was me, really, I think offensive lineman, any offensive lineman at this point, you want to mold, shape, whatever you want to do, an extra cornerback, or obviously linebacker. I mean, linebacker, I think if you get a linebacker, I feel more comfortable getting a linebacker and then kind of just letting see how things play out during camp and stuff like that. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. And we have a little bit of a wait here. We'll see if Howie makes more moves. I don't think he's done. 4 open roster spots for the Eagles and could really go to anybody, just for the competition of camp in general. So something's going on here. But like I said, if you lasted this long in this video, I do appreciate it so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. And everyone have a happy Mother's Day today. If you're watching this today or after Mother's Day, I don't know when I'm putting this out. Probably today, somewhere today. Probably. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follows. Peace out, guys. Peace.